Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, we from group C. We will explain about syllabus, function and elements. First, introduce myself. My name is Sinta Sofi Mariska, NPM 19040026, and my partner Evieni, NPM 19040004. Okay, I will explain about function the syllabus. The syllabus is developed based on competency standard, graduate and content standard for primary and secondary education units according to the learning pattern in each particular year. General function of the syllabus. 1. The syllabus can be used as a guide in preparing student books. The student book contain in subject matter, student activities, and learning. 2. The syllabus becomes of a reference in preparing lesson plans for all subject studies or managing learning activities and developing assessment of learning outcomes. 3. The result of the syllabus development in the form of learning tools serve as a tool for operationally actualizing the curriculum at the education unit level, making it easier for teachers to carry out learning. Syllabus development. The principles in developing the syllabus are scientific, relevance, systematic, consistent, adequate, actual and contextual, flexible, and comprehensive. Komponen silabus, yang pertama identitas mata pelajaran, yang kedua identitas sekolah, yaitu nama satuan pendidikan dan kelas, yang ketiga kompetensi inti, yaitu gambaran mengenai kompetensi dalam aspek sikap, pengetahuan, dan keterampilan yang harus dipelajari oleh peserta didik. Yang keempat, kompetensi dasar, yaitu kemampuan spesifik yang mencakup sikap, pengetahuan, keterampilan yang terkait muatan atau mata pelajaran. Yang kelima, indikator pencapaian kompetensi adalah perilaku yang dapat diukur untuk diamati untuk menunjukkan ketercapaian kompetensi dasar tertentu yang menjadi acuan penilaian mata pelajaran. Yang keenam, materi pokok, yaitu fakta, konsep, prinsip, dan prosedur yang relevan dan ditulis dalam bentuk butir-butir sesuai dengan rumusan indikator pencapaian kompetensi. Yang ketujuh, pembelajaran, yaitu kegiatan yang dilakukan oleh peserta didik serta untuk mencapai kompetensi yang diharapkan. Yang ke-8, penilaian, yaitu merupakan proses pengumpulan dan pengolahan informasi untuk menentukan pencapaian hasil belajar peserta didik. Yang ke-9, alokasi waktu, yaitu sesuai dengan jumlah jam pembelajaran dan struktur kurikulum satu semester atau setahun. Yang ke-10, sumber belajar dapat berupa buku, media cetak, dan elektronik, alam sekitar, atau sumber belajar lain yang relevan.
Hello, my name is Evieni and I'm from class 19A and my number NPM 180404 and I'm from group C. And now I will explain the next material about designing syllabus for teaching context in Indonesia. Number 1, assessing core competencies or KI and basic competencies or KD. The things that need to be considered in assessing KI and KD are as follow. Number 1, the order of KI and KD is based on the hierarchy of scientific discipline, concept, and or level difficulty of the material. It doesn't always have to be in accordance with the order in contents standard. Next, the relationship between core competencies and basic competencies in subject. Next, the link between core competencies and basic competencies between subject. Number 2, identify the subject matter. Potential of student, benefit for student, scientific structure, actually, depth, breadth of learning material, relevance to needs of learner environment demand, the time allocation. In addition, it should also be noted validity, significance, utility, learnability, interest. Next, number 3, developing learning activities. Learning activities are designed to provide a e-learning experience that involve mental and physical processes. Through interaction between student and teacher, the environment and other learning resources in achieving basic competence. Next, number 4, formulate indicator of achievement of basic competencies. Indicators are markers of achieving basic competence, which are marked by measurable change in behavior that include attitude, knowledge, and skill. Indicators are developed according to the characteristic of student. Subject educational unit, regional potential, and are formulated in operational verbs that are measurable and are observable. Selanjutnya nomor 5, determining the rating. A. Teknik penilaian. Penilaian pencapaian kompetensi dasar dan dasar peserta didik dilakukan berdasarkan indikator yang sudah ditetapkan. Penilaian dilakukan dengan menggunakan tes dan non-tes dalam bentuk tertulis maupun lisan. Menggunakan tes dan non-tes dalam bentuk lisan maupun lisan. Pengamatan kinerja, pengukuran sikap, penilaian hasil karya berupa tugas, proyek dan produk, penggunaan portfolio, dan penilaian diri. B. Instrumen penilaian. Tes tulis dapat berupa tes uraian, esai, pilihan ganda, isian, mencocokkan, dan lain-lain. Tes lisan dapat berupa daftar pernyataan. Tes unjuk kerja dapat berupa tes identifikasi, tes simulasi, dan uji petik kerja produk, uji petik kerja produser. Penugasan seperti tugas proyek or project, tugas rumah, dan lain-lain. Observasi menggunakan lembar observasi, wawancara menggunakan pedoman wawancara, portfolio menggunakan dokumen pekerjaan, karya atau prestasi siswa. Penilaian diri menggunakan lembar penilaian diri. Dan nomor 6, determine time allocation. Determine of allocation for its basic competency is based on the number of effective week and time allocation of subject per week by considering the number of basic competencies, breadth, depth, level of difficulty, of level importance of basic competencies. And number 7, determining learning resources. Learning resources are reference, object, and or material used for learning activities in the form of print and electronic media. Resource person, as well as physical, natural, social, and cultural environment. That's all for me. Thank you.